righty, everyone. Welcome back to another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am your host, Brian Carter, and with me, as always, Hank the Bass Geek. What's up, brother?
What's up, everybody? Yeah, man, same old thing. Just living the grind, grinding to live, especially in today's economy.
Hey, I understand that. Guys, I know on the last episode, I talked about going to the Potomac, and congratulations to Mr. Christian Greco. And we've had him on Basscast Radio before. It ended up being a 2-day tournament. And I was going to go on Saturday, and they ended up canceling the whole thing. I was hoping,
Wow.
I was hoping that they would just cancel Saturday and make it a Sunday, but I understand they went ahead and wrapped it all up. And congratulations to him. So, excuse me, Eric. So it ended up being a weekend at home. We watched it rain all day Saturday here, which we need extremely bad. And then Sunday, me and Mama spent the day together, and we headed out of town. And like I said, just did some adulting. We call it grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah, if you go to the grocery store right now, it's definitely, I don't know. I wouldn't classify it as fun times.
No. Because all of you guys know this weekend, guys, is the 2023 Fall Big Bass Edition on Smith Mountain Lake. 3 beautiful days on Smith Mountain Lake where someone's going to take home a brand new nitro boat. And I don't know how many anglers are fishing. I guess I could have asked because I did talk to tournament director, but it's going to be a lot of boats and a lot of anglers vying for a lot of cash. 10 spots every hour for 3 days. So if you're anywhere within Crazy Horse Marina, which is the host of the Basscast Tournament Series, come on up. I'll be there all day Friday. I might be there 75% on Saturday and probably 25% on Sunday. Because 90% of the time on Smith Mountain Lake, I ain't going to say all the time, there's been a couple scares. But most time within that first 4-hour window on day number 1, Big Mama's been caught. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Guys, there's a brand new lake report up for Smith Mountain Lake up on the basscast.com. I posted that today. So head on over and check that out. And I plan on uploading this podcast Thursday morning. And guys, on Facebook, if you guys haven't checked out, we do have a contest going. We're giving away a lot of stuff. We're giving away a jersey from Wild Wear America, lots of baits, spear point hooks. We're giving away a rod. We're giving away everything that you need pretty much to go fishing, except for line. I don't have any line to give away. Line sponsor out there. Anybody want to hook us up? I don't have any line, but you're getting everything else that you need for a day on the water, except for reel. You're going to need line and reel. Boom, boom. Get that, and you're ready to go. Happening this weekend, guys, is a college classic bracket event. That's happening. And me and Geek were talking about it earlier. The NPFL kicks up again. So really excited about that and all that they have to offer there, the NPFL. So if you're not going to be fishing the Big Bass Tour or you're not fishing, period, there's going to be some fishing that you can watch on social media. I'm not sure if the college bracket will be on Fox, but you guys all know the opens and the elites are on Fox as well. Plenty to watch around here and plenty to stay up to date with. Guys, tonight we have a Bassmaster Open EQ elite qualification. That is, everybody. Bobby Lane is on with us tonight from Florida. He's out fishing currently, hanging out with the family, but he's taking a little bit of time to talk with us about the 2023 season. And guys, he's only like 15 points out of qualifying. Now, they only take the top 10, but he's only 15 points out of qualifying this year for being able to fish the 2024 Elite Series. So we're going to talk about that, the stress that might be going in with that, and, just talk about his season as a whole. So Bobby Lane, everyone. Bobby Lane, man, we really appreciate you coming on tonight's show and talking with us and taking some time out of your schedule. For you guys who are watching the video, Bobby's cooking steaks right now, currently on the grill with the family. And you can't get any better than that. Back home in Florida, Bobby Lane, man, appreciate you.
Dude, thanks for having me. Yeah, I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I did. I arrived last night about 8 o'clock. I was out in the Ozarks for a while. We were at Watts Bar, and man, it felt good to be leading a tournament again. And got home last night. Not a whole lot today. Kids had to be to school early this morning, but my son's 16 and he can drive my daughter now. So, you know, the fun of driving them and jamming out is gone. But yeah, I'm here and excited about the rest of the year for sure.
Yeah, like you just said, the rest of the year, there's only one event left in the rest of the year for the Bassmaster Opens series.
Yeah.
But dude, I looked up to your age, man. You're 49. You're 1 year younger than me. What is it? Maybe a year younger than you, Geek, in or two?
Same age. If he's 49,
That's
you're
right.
born
Same
in
as
what
Geek.
year? Were you born in 74?
March.
March 6th, 74.
Yep, born in March.
I was born April 9th. So.
Oh, wow. I got you. I got you, dog. I got you.
We're going to jump into this real quick. I was looking back at your schedule and some of the past events that you fished, and you took a little break from the Opens, and then you dove back in 2023. What were your thoughts that said, I want to get back into Opens? And
well, I mean, I left the Opens, but I didn't leave the Opens, right? It was back during the switch when we all left BASS and we switched over to Major League Fishing. And, you know, it was a tough decision then. And I truly enjoyed my time on the Bass Pro Tour and fishing the pro circuit. And after winning the Red Crest last year, 2022, yeah. I had some decisions to make, and I'm always that guy after history, you know. I mean, I don't have a lot of trophies, but I got some cool trophies, and there's a trophy that I never got, and that trophy's called the Bassmaster Classic. My brother won that trophy in 2012. And like you guys said, March 6th of 74, that puts me at 49.50 next year. And not saying my time's running out, but it's definitely getting slimmer. And I want to be one of those anglers that have a Red Crest World Championship and the Bassmaster Classic. And if I don't start now, I'm gonna kick myself in the rear end. And that was my decision, and it was a family decision, it was a sponsor decision, and it's coming down to practice starts next Saturday on the Harris chain of lakes to try to put some things together. That's what it's coming down to. And I love it. I do. I love it. I love it.
We brought up the age, man. What has it been like? I mean, fishing against some of these young kids out there, and it is pretty hard. I mean, people don't understand. You know, I watch as much live as I possibly can, but you know, you figure there's 100 boats in the elite field, give or take, and there's 200 boats fishing the Open Series, and you being, like I said, I don't want to hit hard up on the age. Of 49 years old. You know, what has it been like for you fishing against some of these young bucks?
Well, let's face it, it kind of went from gravy to work, right? I mean, I went from not having a co-angler to having an official to having all kinds of things to back to having a co-angler, dealing with 225 boats, by the way, in our first event. And it's trickled down a little bit since then, but not coming back to a weigh-in, just when the time's out, you go back to your truck and trailer to come into a weigh-in, and now culling fish and make sure everything's alive, and trying to make the right decision. So it's definitely been a challenge this year, but I think any professional bass fisherman would say I'm up for the challenge. I mean, when you say professional bass fisherman, all I can think of is competitive, right?
Right.
You want to beat the next guy out there, and you want to beat the next guy out there, and you want to accomplish your next goal, and you want to win this to qualify for that. And I mean, I think that's why young guys, old guys, all of us are in this thing. I've never been in this position before. I think I've qualified for everything that I've ever strived for. And I'm finding myself locked in 15th in the points, trying to get to the top 10, try to get to the Bassmaster Classic, and on top of all, fish a a lake that I absolutely love, the Harris chain of lakes, and try to seal the deal and get myself back in the Bassmaster Classic, which is going to be in March, where actually I won the Red Crest last year. So I mean,
Golly. That's true.
it's like
Oh.
you can't draw it up any better, and I can't
No.
predict the future, but it's just like, wow, man, this is cool. Like, this is what I live for. I get chills talking about it, and
I just got a chill, Bobby. I ain't lying.
yeah, I hope you did, and I hope I give you more chills when we light them up over in Harris. At least that's what our plans are. To you can never predict. We're in a tough time of the year. It's fall. It's transition. I mean, Florida's hot. It's not cooled off at all. We got these little depressions coming through. I mean, it's been taken anywhere from 14 to 20 to win a tournament. So second place is 12 to 13. So I mean, it's not your typical 8, 9, 10 pounders, but boy, if you do catch one, it goes a long way. So I couldn't have drawn it up any better, though. You're right. I mean, I'm keeping everybody on edge, but the problem is I got myself on edge too. I didn't want to be in this position, but I am, and I'm excited about it.
The beginning of the season, we all saw the message from Bass. They changed up. They went to the EQ qualification this year. Some people liked it. Some people didn't like it. And I personally agreed with what they did because they are wanting people. They're wanting the best of the best to be a part of the best. And they're wanting people who will fish, now there's, EQ angler, you got to fish all 9 events.
Yep.
What were your thoughts?
Dude, you're right. And I know where you're going with this. I will say a couple of things. I mean,
Go for it.
A 4.5-day practice is a lot. There is no off limits at all, except for when practice starts. So except for you can't be on the water, but I mean, literally I can have both you guys fishing your home lake on Friday, and you guys cover 3 ends of the lake and get on them and then tell me where they live. And then all I got to do is show up and catch them. So there is a little bit of difference, but hey, no knock about it. These guys that are above me, the guys that are under me, we have worked hard this year. We all can get any kind of information we want before the off limits practice. And, sometimes information is never a good thing. It can send you down a bad path, but the guys that are above me have earned it. The guys that are below me have earned it. And, I've really worked hard. I have really fished. I don't feel like I fished to my potential at all this year. And I find myself still having a chance, which is a good thing. But, I hope that, I hope things go well coming up on Lake Harris. But you're right. The 9 tournaments definitely prepares you for being a tour professional. And I think it's a great way to get your teeth, rooted in, because it's a big schedule. Like, I mean, we've gone from Florida to Oklahoma to Missouri to New York to Virginia, over to Tennessee and somewhere else. I can't even, Eufaula, Alabama. I mean, we've been all over.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what a guy that wants to qualify for the Elite Series needs, because that's the kind of schedule you run. You run 2 in a row, or you run in a row, or you take a 3-week off and then you got a 20-hour trip. I mean, that's exactly what you want. So, I love the 9 events. I love to fish though too. I'm not the guy that likes to take off 4, 5, 6 months a year, man. I like to keep my poles, my Abu Garcias in the water. I like to keep, baits on them, and I like to keep them chimed up and ready. And, here I go. We're already in October and I'm still fishing. I just came off one, got home last night. So I like a full season. I really do. And I think they did a good job with that this year.
I'm up here in, Northeast Tennessee, and, and for me, some of my favorite fishing of the year is, in the fall and into the winter time, so it's, I'm with you. I'm a year-round guy, man. I like to stay sharp and get out there and catch them any chance I get. So,
yeah, I mean, think about it. You can't just have tournaments that run to June or July, right? Because
Yeah.
that's when the summer's kind of beginning or ending, and when you get into the fall, that's when there's a whole different type of fishing going
Yeah.
on. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and you really need to, if you're gonna fish professionally, you need to be a well-rounded angler and as versatile as you can be. And if you don't get to experience winter, spring, summer, and fall, then you're kind of lost if you don't get to experience all three of these. If you're just a spring fisherman, oh, I caught 35 pounds on cypress trees or docks, they
You know,
only
I
bite
was
in
already
spring.
a fan, but I'm a bigger one now. I'm a bigger
Like
fan now.
I want to be able to throw a Berkeley Chapo down the bank and cover 6 miles of bank in a day and
Yeah.
maybe only get 6 bites, but they're the right ones.
Right.
And that's fishing to me, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and let's face it, that's what happens in the fall. You're chunking a Chapo, a buzz bait, you're
Yeah.
maybe flipping a dock or two. I mean, that's
Yeah.
some tough fishing. You're not
It
out
is.
there just waylaying them like you could in the spring and catch
Yeah.
20 fish, 30 fish a day, and they weigh 20 pounds. That fall fishing is fun. And then you get into the winter where, you're looking for the same amount of bites, but they're going to be bigger because they're healthier. So
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think I really like the way the schedule was set up, and I learned a lot this year. Believe it or not, I've done it a while, but I didn't think I could learn a whole heck of a lot more, because I've done everything, I swear. And I have learned so much this year from what happens on certain fisheries and what doesn't. And I get caught up in my old ways, dude, and it has
Yeah.
burned me a few times. It really has.
I'm a fan like of you guys at the pros. I'm a big fan of you and your brother both. And you know, I hated COVID, but I loved that we actually got to see the best in the world fish some of the toughest times of year, the fall transition, when COVID pushed everything back.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
to see what you guys would do. And I understand from this time of year, there's so much on the business side for you guys that y'all have to deal with that I get the time off. But
Yeah.
we get to learn so much from you guys getting to watch you fish the times when we're out here going, I hate this lake. What is going on? And being able to see what you guys do and how you guys approach it. To me, it was I know it was one of the toughest. And a lot of guys like to be in the woods at that point in time, but it was some of the funnest tournaments to watch for
Yeah.
me that I've seen in a while.
Yeah, man. I mean, let's face it, you're going from you need no problem catching a limit to, okay,
Yeah.
how am I going to catch a limit? And, there's been a couple tournaments I've taken that Berkeley Swamp Lord, and I've had to skip it 18 feet under a dock or a tree to draw a strike. And I mean, that one fish is a huge deal in a tournament now. I mean, it has been a grinder just for me to catch a limit in the last couple. I mean, Watts Bar is a beautiful place, and I led it the first day, but it was tough for me to even I didn't catch a limit the third day, and it was all I could do to just make the top 10. And, at the Ozarks just last week in the fall, I literally caught my 5th fish on my exact last cast of the day.
Wow.
And the second day I caught 6 fish all day long. So, I mean, I get it. That's what makes fishing though.
It
You
is.
love it when things come together and you're like, finally, I conquered the day by just having a 5 fish limit. I really do. I love that part of it.
But what makes that so great, when you have those days when you can feels like you can throw an empty hook and catch them, is all those
Right.
days that are tough. And that's what really makes, I think all of us anglers were really adrenaline junkies because there is no feeling. Like
That's when you say, rut row, what do I got myself
Yeah.
in? I've been here for 3 days and I haven't caught a limit yet.
And then all of a sudden,
how are we going to catch a limit? And that's when you really need to trust in what you do. And every bait you got confidence in, you need to tie on, because you never know what situation you're going to face.
We talked about earlier, some of the guys that you're competing against for the that are sitting in top 10 right now. And you got JT Tompkins. I don't even know if he's 25 yet. Is he old enough to drink? I'm not even sure.
I don't think any of these kids, I think
Ray
all
McKinney,
these kids I think they just got their license last year like my son did. I swear, these guys are. Trey McKinney looks like I could tell him to go to his room. He looks so, but the guy is just a hammer, and they've been catching him. JT Tompkins, John Garrett. I mean,
Yeah.
every time you go, it's like, okay, I finished 20th, or I didn't have many. I had a 17th, and I'm like, okay, we should move way up into points. And it's like, oh man, I didn't move up too much, because all those guys you just named actually were better than 17th. So
I think
these
Kyle
guys
Patrick
are,
won it all.
and Kyle Patrick just won the Ozarks. I actually moved up a point or something. But yeah, I mean, these guys are. It's like, okay, let's see if I made up any ground, and me and my son will talk it out, right? Oh, okay, let's see where JT Tompkins finished. Daddy's in the top 10. How about Kyle Patrick? Daddy's in the top 10. How about Trey McKinney? He's in the top 10. How about John Garrett? He's in the top 10. Brett Cannon. Well, Brett Cannon's in the top 10. It's like, good Lord, man. I mean, these guys are hammers, and they got both guns slinging. So, I mean, this is no joke what I'm doing. It really is. This is no more. There's no more walk-ons around here. You be consistent is great, but your consistency needs to be better than what it used to be, because these guys are bringing it, man.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm sitting here looking at it. I think Kenta Kimura is the oldest one in the top 10.
I'm glad I'm not up there, because I think Kenta's like 30, and me and Kenta are good buddies. And he's struggled in the last two, but boy, let me tell you, that guy on the Elite Series and on the open schedule, I think Kenta, the world of him, and he has got a bright future in front of him for sure.
You hear a lot of guys, whether it's, talk about pressure. You hear a lot of the, weekend guys like myself talk about fishing pressure and how fishing has gotten tougher. But, I think the one thing that a lot of the weekend warriors don't give credit to is how daggone good these up and coming anglers are, because of the high school tournaments, because of the college tournaments. These guys like me and you, we're the same age. And these guys have already got the experience we had at like 35. I mean, by the time they're 25, I mean, they've got that time on the water. And I think anglers in general are just better. There's so much information out there. There's so much stuff out there. I think the anglers are just better and than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago.
I'd love to give you a long answer, but I don't. I couldn't agree more. My son is 16, and I have boat captained him in several of these Florida Bass Nations. And he would, if I'm on TV, he's watching YouTube, and like, Dad, you're not catching any. I can watch this YouTube and learn how to do this. And I think I think the information program for these younger kids is phenomenal. I think it's awesome. They're coming up quicker than we ever did.
Oh yeah.
But I think the older guys still have the knowledge and the advantage. It's just not showing yet. We got, the electronic thing is a brand new thing, and I'm not touching base on it. I'm a Lowrance guy, and I love my Lowrance. I love my active target too. But let's face it, if you're not playing with electronics, you're going backwards. So.
Yep.
You're right, though. These kids have been more educated and have a lot more good than bad for sure. And they know how to fish coming out of the gates. And they're starting at 16 when we used to start at 25. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. You were talking about the season earlier, and, a lot of the things that you've learned this year. And, taking back, you said, I thought I've learned all that I could possibly learn. What has been your biggest takeaway and learn from 2023 in the opens?
Man, nothing's easy. I mean, that's for sure. There's nothing easy at all. I mean, you sometimes think, oh, you've done this, you've done that, you're going to kind of sign up for this or that and just do what you normally do and just kind of get through life with it. And that's been I never kind of went into it that way, but I thought I would be a lot better in the points than I am right now. And I'm thinking as I feel better than ever, believe it or not, mentally and physically, like I'm hungrier than ever for a win.
Nice.
Leading at Watts Bar just like brought a whole new life to me. It felt so good. And to actually get all those text messages while I was leading that event, it just brought back so many memories of what it felt like to lead an event. But I think as we move forward, man, you need to not take nothing for granted and realize that every single cast counts. You know, I relate this to golf. You know, the guys that make the 10-footers in golf, the reason they make them every single time is because they're on the range or on the putting, they're on the putting practice putting surface, you know, 6 days a week trying to make that 10-footer. That's why when they're under pressure, they can make it 9 out of 10 times. And if I got to make that exact pitch with my jig, or if I got to make that exact cast with my Chapo or whatever, you know, I need to make sure that it's there 100%. And if I lay off at all, they're going to run me over. So I take for granted everything that's in front of me. I love the position I'm in. I love where I'm at in life with my kids' camp coming up in December, and where my kids are. They're growing up, and I get to spend a little more time at home, and how valuable all that is. But you know, you're right. It's a challenge right now, but I'm fully capable of handling the pressure. But I put more pressure on myself than I ever have this year, and that's not the brightest thing, because I've never had to deal with what I'm dealing with right now. So it's, guys, it's real, it's live, it's coming down to the next week and a half. And I am pumped up about it, and it's in God's hands. He's in control of my boat, and whichever way this thing shapes out, you know, that's the way it's going to work. All I can do is put in every single bit of energy I can, every single hour of practice, try to make the best decisions, and you know, try to come out on top. You know, that's all I can ask. I have been blessed to be where I'm at. I've lost some real key fish this year, and I've been fortunate to catch some real key fish. So I'd say the bad outweighs the good, and it's coming down to the wire, and who wouldn't want it any other way? You know, I'm a huge college football fan, and I wanted 4th down and 1 on the 11-yard line, and to get 4th and 1 to get a first down to somebody win, and it sends chills up my back from all the way. You know, I mean, that's the way I love it, and I got it. I pretty much put myself right there in the hot seat, just like I described it.
Some people like, you know, rather be trailing by just a little bit from behind, because you're I mean, it's close, really, really freaking close. You brought up a little while ago, you know, the season, it's been a tough season on you. Mentally, how have you dealt with the 2023 season? You know, because like you said, none of us are young anymore. The long trips, the long practices, the long, you know, 3-day events, some get cut short, but the 3-day events, how have you helped mentally deal with your 2023 season?
Well, let's face it, I'm a seasoned veteran angler, right?
Yes.
So I am used to long seasons. I am used to traveling in between here and there, to and from. So that mentally and physically wasn't the most of this season has been, it's really been a joy. I have met so many wonderful people this year. From honestly, from co-anglers to people at weigh-ins to different venues. A lot of people come to watch us weigh in, and I've signed a lot of autographs this year, and that means a lot. I mean, that keeps the cool in it, right? I mean, I love that part of it. I signed an autograph today at the gas station here in town. I mean, it's really,
wow.
Yeah, dude, it's really cool, you know, and I love that part of it. But let's face it, these opens, they're tough. They're a grind.
Yeah, yes.
And I'm not going to say once you graduate from the opens that you're going to go to a place that's any easier. Let's face it, the Elite Series is a grind, and you got the best anglers in the world. But I do say these open anglers that are coming up, they're strong, they're tough, and mentally and physically, it hasn't worn on me at all. The longer I've done these, at first I had a lot of pressure, And I put a lot of pressure on myself, believe it or not, when I would get an early boat number, because I feel like, okay, it's time to go boom, boom, boom. And then when I don't have them, then I start fishing like a dummy. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I've never had to deal with that kind of pressure. So
I like that.
it seems like the longer day I got, I'm like, okay, I got 8 or 9 hours. I can just go out there and whale it around. Believe it or not, those are some of my best days. And I wish I could have transferred some of my first days into my second days, but you know, it's got me to where I'm at. I'm living and learning, and you know, like I said, I thought I learned a lot, but I'm learning more and more how much pressure this has really put on me and my family. And you know, we're up for the challenge, and I am very, very fortunate to be where I'm at in the points right now. I'm not kidding you. I don't take anything for granted. And between this hook set or that hook set, I mean, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, and you'd be asking me what are you thinking about doing next year, because you don't have a shot, you know. So it's
I'll be
nice to be
honest.
having this conversation.
You know, I'll renege on that part right there, because Bobby Lane has been, you know, he's one of those consistent anglers. He, you know, you don't hear a lot of trash out of Bobby Lane. He's always fishing, nose to the grind. He's always teaching. We saw that this past weekend.
Yep.
So I don't, you know, you know, you're a guy that a lot of people look up to because of that right there. And a lot of
Yeah.
our guy, you know, our age, people look up to you because of that right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Well, dude, I appreciate it. You know, I even got my kids' event on December 2nd this year at Camp Mac. I mean, that's one of my favorite times, but that's nice to hear. And you know, you're right. I mean, my job is, I feel like my job is to make every single angler from birth to 110 years old, if I can teach them how to put more fish in the boat, then I'm doing my job, because I have been truly blessed by God to be a professional angler and have the skills that I have to do it day in and day out. And the more people that I can reach out to, and they can say, Bobby, you actually helped me catch more fish, that just makes my day. So yeah, I guess basically what I was saying is these opens they have been a grind this year.
Yeah.
But we are coming down to the wire, and I really am grateful to be as consistent as I was this year, because the practice time that I put in is a shade of nothing from dawn till dark every single day. Never missed a Saturday, never missed a Wednesday. Boats off the water at 1 o'clock, boats in the water on Saturday at 30 minutes before sunrise.
Right.
And I believe if a guy can truly do that and hold to it and spend enough time on the water, that you are going to figure enough out to be consistent enough to qualify for anything. And I tell you now, though, that's exactly what it takes, because that's what I've done this year. And I have a chance to make the Elite Series. And I believe if I would have left one day of practice off somewhere, or didn't feel like going out that day, that we might not be in the same position we are now.
I do have a question. You were talking about signing autographs and all that good stuff earlier. You know, do you personally miss that? Did you, you know, I talked to a lot of anglers that came from Major League Fishing, came in different parts of Major League Fishing, and they said that was probably one of the things that they missed the most about it. The, you know, the no weigh in. There's nobody there when you're done. Maybe just the media. That's about it, and a handful of guys. And from getting back into where, you know, I mean, I have to admit, I mean, you know, just like if you were to go to a concert, you know, 90% of your concerts, I've been to, you know, this ain't a lie, guys. I've been to a concert with 5 people there, and I've been to ones with 10,000 people there. And you're going to play better when there's 10,000 people there, and you're going to try to play better when there's 5 people there. You know, that's kind of helped you a lot through the season.
I will say this for sure. I don't mind. I love signing every single autograph out there, no matter where I'm at or what I'm doing. But believe it or not, some of the opens that I've been at have had a really, really nice crowd. And it was, we did some things at Major League that were beneficial for fan base too. We had some meet and
Yeah.
greets and that was fun. But you're right, to go to a weigh-in again, to have the crowd out in front of me when I led Watts Bar and the whole crowd went crazy, dude, it felt like
You're
I
19
had
again.
won the Red Crest again. I'm not kidding you. It
There you
gave me
go.
those chills. I needed that. It felt good to have that again. So yes, I don't, I'm not here to talk about one side or the other.
We're not
Yeah,
here to do
yeah.
that, but I
promise, but-
mean,
But let's face it, we love signing autographs, and we in every single sport out there, from motocross to golf to football, you name it. The fans are what make us go around, and it's nice to have them out there watching me weigh in for sure.
guys, if you don't know, the Lanes love playing golf. Both Lanes love playing golf. If you guys have heard that numerous times, if you look up golf, and family, and fishing.
Yeah,
Bobby,
I mean, what else do you need though, right? And you forgot cards. You gotta have to throw the cards in there. We're a huge. I actually picked a few bucks up off my parents today, so it was I got dark. They're taking a 10-day trip up to Maine and Vermont.
That's awesome.
And stuff like that. And unfortunately, they can't stop at the convenience store tomorrow because I got them on the card game this afternoon, so it was a good thing.
Bobby Lane, we wish you the best of luck in your home Harris chain of lakes. We all will be watching, guys. If you don't know the day, it's October 12th through the 14th. Make sure you're watching on Fox. That's where I watch until it switches over. But we're rooting for you. It's no lie, brother. We really, really are. We hope to see you back next year in the elite season. You deserve it. You're a hell of an angler, and good luck to you.
Guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate you digging in. I love sharing what a year it's been, and it's nice to express all that out there and kind of get it out there, because sometimes you botch that stuff up a little bit in your own feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want anybody to know what's going on, but I'm here to tell you I appreciate you guys. I'm grateful to have the question. Sorry, it's a little dark, but
no, you're good,
it's
man.
out here on the porch, and I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to do this. Look forward to doing it again.
Love to have you
and,
on.
Hey, fingers crossed. Let's hope next time we're talking, you're going to say, it's not going to say Bobby Lane EQ Angler. It's going to say Bobby Lane Elite Series Angler. So
there you go.
You guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I'm going to eat me a fat steak.
All right, everyone. All right, everyone. Really appreciate Bobby Lane coming on and talking with us tonight. Another great show. Appreciate you guys listening. Geek had to jump out for a second, so we're gonna jump back in.
Sorry
Geek
about
here.
that.
It's all good, brother. What's been happening with you, man? I apologize for that earlier.
No, man, that was my fault. I had a little something I had to do there on the side, but man, it's just been sort of the same thing, man. We're out there, we're filming, we're fishing, we're doing some how-tos. Listen, dropped a video yesterday. It is a fishing video. You guys absolutely need to see. I think it's one of my best fishing videos, as far as entertaining goes. Hopefully you'll pick up some good information about the fall transition to, some of the toughest time to fish. So I know we've been talking a lot about that. That's already happening. Where I'm at, I'd say it's probably already
happening already at Smith Mountain Lake. You guys can read the lake report, and it's already happening there as well. So, well, I forgot to bring this up, guys. I want to thank all of you guys here at Basscast Radio for following us on social media. I'm inviting new people are signing up all the time. Guys, the podcast is not free, by the way. We've talked about that many a times. All we're asking for you to do is go hit the like button. Go hit the follow button. That is it. I mean, we're not asking you to do nothing crazy. Just hit a button.
That's right.
That's it.
But,
that button right there helps us tremendously.
You don't got to pay nothing. All you got to do is just a little bit of work. Click, click, click.
But I didn't dive into this earlier, but I got a call last night from the gentleman who owns Bass Angler Magazine. And
Yes.
We actually spent about 30 minutes talking, and you know, it was really cool because, you know, we all know Bass Angler took over the Wild Wild West series. I ain't gonna say he took over it. Well, he kind of did. He bought their shit. There you go. Boom. And he started his own series. But it was really cool for us. And I want to thank you guys for this a ton, for him to actually think of us as a media partner. We're not
Yeah.
just this, you know, I ain't gonna lie, guys. If you, one day I might have someone write a book for me. You don't want me to write it. But, you know, I started this thing putting flyers on cars in parking lots. I mean, I would get there an hour before a tournament and walk around and put a flyer on every car. And it's just so awesome to see the transition. It has been 12 years. I was not in any hurry to build this thing. I had a lot of stuff going on, but we're now in a race. We're ready to build and we're ready to get out, both me and Geek. We want to do this full time, guys. But it was so freaking cool for them to different media people to reach out and said, hey, we want you to be a media partner with us. NPFL the same way. And like I said, even being out there on the West Coast, I mean, he's 4 hours behind us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be a media partner with him and consider us a media partner. You know, someone he can trust with his information and with his, you know, something that, you know, is kind of crazy starting a tournament series, just letting you know it's crazy. I mean, it really is. But starting that and running that is really freaking cool. So I'm going to thank you to Bass Angler Magazine. And for you guys, Basscast Radio is now on their website, guys. For you guys out there, you can go listen to the Basscast Radio out on his website. So really appreciate that. Thank you guys for being a part of tonight's show. Don't forget, man, Big Bass Tour. We're going to be on Smith Mountain Lake all weekend. I will tell you this. There is a plan. Got everything set up, and to do another before the first cast. And there's a lot of guys that fish the Big Bass Tour as a tour. You know, that is their, just like, you know, Bobby fishing the opens or any other event out there. There's guys that travel with the Big Bass Tour and fish all of them, or as many as they possibly can. So I'm going to try to get one of them on and talk about that being, you know, just a 9-to-5er and fishing and traveling and fishing these events.
That's wild.
Yes. So I'm going to dive into that hopefully this weekend. Going to be a lot of great coverage. Social media, guys, going to be blown up everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're going to have a lot of stuff there. The website. I'm done. Hope you guys have a great week, everyone. And I've got a lot of shows lined up for next week. We had a lot of guests that really wanted to do it tomorrow, but I have something planned tomorrow. So we got a lot of great people lined up for next weekend. You guys have a great weekend. Head on over and follow Geek on YouTube as well. We had 70,000 now, 70 more.
71. I think we're at 71.
Bam, boys and girls.
Closing in on 71,400. So
over 71,000 followers on Geek's channel. You guys know the goal, man. Let's get to, I mean, let's get to 80 at least. We pushed it.
I'd love to see 80 for the end of the year. That'd be awesome.
We pushed it to 100, but let's at least get to 80 for the end of the year. Head on over and give me a follow now. Have a great night, everyone. And we'll be talking to you guys next week.